Hari Om everyone, and welcome to another session of stories from the Bhagavatam. Today we will listen to the story of King Bharata from Shubhaji.
Hari Om. Let's listen into the story of King Bharata today. So who was King Bharata? King Bharata, we saw last week, we saw the story of Lord Rishabhadeva. So King Bharata is the son of Lord Rishabhadeva and Jayanti, and he was the eldest son of the 100 sons of Rishabhadeva. As we all know, last week that Rishabhadeva was one of the avatars of Lord Vishnu. So King Bharata was the son of a great person. So obviously King Bharata will have all the qualities of his father. So he was such a great king that our country got the name from his name, Bharata Varsha. So King Bharata, being ordered by his father, Lord Rishabhadeva, married Panchajani, who was the daughter of Vishwarupa, and they had 5 sons, namely Sumati, Rashtrabrita, Sudarshana, Aparana, and Dhumraketu. Okay, so King Bharata ruled the whole planet so peacefully that we got the name from him. This planet was known as Ajnaba. Ajnaba, which came from the name of King Nabi. Nabi we saw already, right? In the story of King Nabi. So we had the name of Ajnaba before, but after Bharata Maharaj, our country was known as Bharata Varsha because he was such a noble king, and he was following the footsteps of his father's principles and teaching. He was offering all the yajnas, yagas, everything to the demigods and gods. But he realized that when he offered his offering or the yajnas to the gods, demigods, they were nothing but the God himself in different forms. So King Bharata was very successful, just, undisturbed, and always devoted to Lord Vishnu, and kept all his citizens very happy. After finishing his kingly duties and after ruling the kingdom for millions of years, he divided his kingdom among his 5 sons. He left home and went to the place known as Pulaha, and wherein there was a ashrama named Pulaha Ashrama. Pulaha Ashrama is situated near the Gandaki river, which is very sacred, and it houses the Saligrama Shilas. Okay? There in the forest, he lived a lonely life and collected variety of flowers, twigs, and tulsi leaves along with water from the Gandaki river to offer to the Lord, and he was deep in spiritual sadhana. He was always in a state of bliss and gained utmost devotion. He was in a state of bhava, which is the stage of spiritual ecstasy, which is like full of bliss. He was always in the devotion of Lord Vishnu. So when you are always devoted to Lord Vishnu, you reach that state of bliss. Okay. So he was detached from all the worldly things and so engrossed in doing all the spiritual sadhana. One day, after bathing in the Gandaki river, the king sat down as usual under a tree to do his spiritual sadhana and chant his mantras. He saw a pregnant deer come to the river's edge to drink water. It was so thirsty that it was thirsty, but at the same time, the deer was very cautious, looking here and there. But when it was drinking water, a lion roared nearby, and the deer was startled and frightened. She tried to jump over the other side of the river. While she was jumping, Since the deer was pregnant, the baby fell from her womb into the water. And in that state of shock, the mother deer died. Okay. So the king saw that the baby deer was struggling and it was swept away by the river water. And his heart melted and he took pity on the baby deer. So he rescued the baby deer and took her to his ashram. Bharata raised the deer with care and protected her from other animals, and he took care of her as his own child. He was so attached and absorbed in his care that he gradually started forgetting Lord Vishnu. Okay? He soon fell from his bhakti path and was so attached to the deer. Okay? So is it wrong to get save somebody and take care of somebody? No, right? It is not wrong. But it is wrong to what is wrong there? Yes, Ram.
To stop the spiritual practice.
Correct. He lost sight of what his purpose was, right? He was supposed to go in his spiritual path, but he lost sight of it and he got attached to the deer, that he was constantly thinking of the deer. Instead of constantly thinking of Lord Vishnu, his path went in the different direction. So he was forgetting everything, what his real purpose was, and was getting attached to the deer. Imagine, he was a great king and he had given up his material opulence, kingdom and family. Everything he gave up to become a ascetic, right? And came to the spiritual path. But now, even after giving up so much, huge kingdom of his, after giving up, now he got attached to the deer, right? So he forgot that he was in the service of God. So he lost sight of his real purpose. So one day what happened is the deer was lost in the forest. So when the deer was lost, since he was so attached to the deer, he started getting worried where the deer was. So he was filled with grief and worry and he started searching for the deer everywhere. So while he was searching for the deer, his attention was fully on that deer. And since he was so worried, he was in a state of worry. So that resulted in his death. As he was leaving his body, he could see that the deer was crying for him as if she was her own, the deer was his own child. So that was constantly in his mind when he left that body. What can we refer or what can we learn from this story is that Krishna has given us two beautiful shlokas in the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So what are the two shlokas here? It is Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangasteshopajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat Krodho Bijayate. What is the meaning of it? While contemplating on the object of senses, one develops attachment to them. Attachment leads to desire, and from desire arises anger. So we can connect these two, this shloka, and the next shloka also connects with the story. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha, sammohat smriti vibramaha, smriti bramshat buddhi nasho, buddhi nashat pranashyati. So anger leads to clouding of judgment. King Bharata lost his judgment, which results in the bewilderment of his memory. When memory is bewildered, the intellect gets destroyed, and when the intellect is destroyed, one is ruined. What happened here? King Bharata lost his judgment and he got attached to the deer. He forgot his real purpose of not getting attached, and his intellect got destroyed because he lost the judgment capacity. Okay? Yeah, that is the story, and we will continue with the story of what happens next in King Bharata's story next week. Hari Om.
Thank you, Shubha, for the wonderful story. Did you all like the story today? Okay. So can we look at some questions? Diya Disha, please unmute your video also. Okay. So we all know that Rishabhadeva and Jayanti, how many kids they had? Yes, Diya?
100.
100. Who was their eldest child? Yes, Ram?
King Bharata.
King Bharata. Very good. Okay. Now, who did King Bharata marry? What was the name? Yes, Disha?
Panchajani.
Very good. Now, they had, how many children they had? Bharata and Panchajani. Yes, Diya?
5.
5. Okay. Now, after Bharata gave up and distributed his kingdom to all his 5 sons, isn't it? After that, he went somewhere. Where did he go? Yes, Ram?
Near Gandaki river, present-day Nepal, Pulaya Ashrama.
Yes. Okay. Why did he go there to that ashrama?
To do spiritual practice.
To do spiritual practice. Now, when there is something special about the Gandaki river, which Shubhaji said. What is found in the Gandaki river? Lot of... Yes, Ram?
The divine salagram.
Yes. It's a place where you can find lot of shaligrams. Now, when he was meditating there for many days, after that, one day suddenly, who did he see? Yes, Diya?
A deer.
Yes, a pregnant deer. Now, when the pregnant deer was coming towards him, suddenly it heard a lion roaring, and it got scared and it jumped. And while it jumped, what happened? Yes, Ram?
From its womb, the baby deer came up and it fall down into that water body and was fighting for her life.
It fell down into the water and it was fighting for its life. Now, what did King Bharata do on seeing this? Diya Disha?
He took the baby deer.
And what did he do after taking the baby deer? Yes, Diya?
He took care of it.
He took care of it like his own child, right? How he will take care of his own child? It was taking care of the deer like that. Okay. Now, in the end, what happened? Yes, Ram?
The deer was lost and the Bharata was heartbroken and he died because of that incident.
He couldn't find the deer. No, he was trying to find, and so because of the worry, he died. Okay. Now, when he died, what did he see? Diya Disha, what did he see after he died? He saw something. What? Huh?
The last thing what he saw before dying.
What did he see?
When his
Ram, you know?
No, ma'am.
Okay, in the last, what did he see? He saw that the deer was crying. The deer was crying because he was missing him. He was lost, right? He couldn't find him anymore. So the deer was crying. And what he was seeing is, after looking at the deer, he was having that attachment to the deer, right? So he was also very sad that all this time I protected this deer, and now look, I'm getting separated from this deer, and all his thoughts are about the deer only. Who did he forget in all this? Yes, Disha?
Lord Vishnu.
He forgot Lord Vishnu. Before, when he came to that place for meditation, his mind was filled only with Vishnu. That is why he left all his kingdom, his sons, everyone, and came to that ashrama for meditation. But because of this one deer, he forgot the most important person in his life, who was Lord Vishnu. And now, even after he died, he was thinking only of the deer and not of Lord Krishna. Okay, so now let us wait till next week to know the next part of the story of what happens to King Bharata after he dies. Okay, so with this, we come to the end of today's session. Hari Om, everyone. Thank you.